Why do we feel it's necessary to yak about bullshit in order to be comfortable?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It's another episode of Late Night with the Grande, aka South of the Border. Sorry about being late.
Can we call about late night? Can we call late night still?
Well, we're in the middle of transitioning. We don't. These things take time.
Late night-ish in East Coast?
Late night-ish.
On the East Coast?
It's late night-ish. I know on the East Coast.
If you're on the West Coast, it's the afternoon.
In Russia, I don't know what time it is. Anyways, so welcome back, everyone. And again, sorry we're a little bit late. We had a few technical difficulties. We were kind of in the middle of, okay, we got a little lazy. We ate a long lunch and we decided, okay, we'll start a little bit late today because, down here in Mexico, it begins, is it this week it begins? Like the vacation weeks of vacation? Easter?
Weeks, yeah.
Easter's like a big deal. Like people shut down everything for like 2-3 weeks at a time. It's really kind of crazy depending on where you go, where you work. So, like in our neighborhood, I think we're the only people in our neighborhood.
I think everyone else is on vacation.
I think everybody else left. They all like to go to the beach or something like that. And somebody said, Acapulco is probably like really busy right now. And I'm like, Acapulco got destroyed by a hurricane last year.
That's not going to stop people from going.
Probably.
Just go to the beach and drink beer. I mean, it's pretty simple.
Hey, you can go anywhere and drink beer, I guess, is really what you
my
want to
point
do.
Exactly.
But again, we are live. It's pop culture and it's politics. A lot of politics today again. From south of the border, from south of the Rio Grande, that beautiful brown river of filth and muck and mud that people try to walk through. It's dirty, man. It's really dirty.
It used to be cleaner.
It used to be clean, and then it's now dirty. Very, very, very dirty.
What did we do?
Very dirty. What did we do?
Yeah.
We live. It's just people. It's just what happens.
I've seen plenty of clean rivers.
I've seen lots of clean rivers too.
Near cities, all right?
But I would not go into the Rio Grande, I'll tell you that's for sure.
Yeah, that's about right.
So we got lots of immigration news. Homeland Security is going nuts. I mean, they are just on a tear. And wait till you see like some of the messages they sent out to people, especially in Arizona. So if you're in Arizona and you're not exactly a U.S. citizen, you might want to check your email because they sent out some emails last night and they're kind of wild, actually. They're kind of just point blank. We got more news on a Colombia student who's getting deported. Now he's going to have a friend.
What do you mean he's going to have a friend?
He's going to have we're going to get to that.
He has a friend?
He's going to have a friend. So we've got that. We've got El Salvador basically giving the middle finger to the U.S. Supreme Court and Trump laughing all the way. We got political violence all over the place. We got some stuff going on we're going to talk about. These kind of things are getting a little out of control, I think. But I think that's just the way of the world at this point in time. But again, thank you for joining us. Let us know what's on your mind today. Let us know what the topic of the day is for you. We could probably talk about it and discuss it as well. So with that, you want to get to our first story?
Yeah, might as well get right into it. As you said, it was a busy day. So
it is a busy day.
Wow, a lot of stories.
Dude, look at all the stories I see. I don't know if we can actually...
I was going to say, I don't even know if we're going to be able to get through all these.
And some of them are kind of related, right? All right, you know what? Let's start out with El Salvador.
Yeah, this one I'm very curious about. So so he just said no?
Wait. We got to make sure people know what we're talking about. True. Right? Again, one of our favorite poor bastards of the world right now, this guy, and his name is Quilomar Abrego Garcia. He was accidentally deported. All right. He's an illegal. I don't care how long he's been in here, how many times he's gone to court, blah, blah, blah. He's an illegal. He is or is not, may not be a member of MS-13 connection with that. He's married to a U.S. citizen. He got put on a plane with a bunch of MS-13 gang members and sent to El Salvador and their beautiful spa and recreation center. I'm just kidding about that. Probably the worst prison or one of the worst prisons in the world.
Yeah.
Well, that's where he is. Hanging and banging with his homies. Hey, how you doing, buddy? There you go.
That's not a really fun place to be.
It's not a fun place to be.
Imagine you get deported and that's where you go.
Well,
that's pretty rough.
So
I mean, if you're a gang member, yeah, you earned it. But.
Well, his story is, drawn battle lines, and of course, it went all the way to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court ruled, "Hey, can you bring him back, please?" And the Trump administration is like, "No." No, we're not. So they'll say they'll do everything they can to facilitate his release and bringing him back. Unfortunately, he's not in the United States, and he's not a U.S. citizen.
So he's in a gray area.
So he really...
He's a really gray
No,
area.
he's not in a gray area because El Presidente...
Okay, well, he was in a gray area.
This dude, Bukele? How do you pronounce his name?
I think it's Bukele.
Salvadorian President Nayib Bukele, who's about as... He's basically like... He's mini Trump in Central America, right? I mean, he's taken El Salvador, one of the worst, most violent places in the world, and turned into a place where you might actually be able to go and visit.
Oh, yeah, you absolutely can.
So, but he's in the Oval Office today, and you can see he's hanging with his bestie Trump. You can see, and his bestie Trump, they asked him. So the press asked Trump and the president of El Salvador, hey, so are we getting this guy back? And the president of El Salvador is like, what am I going to do? Sneak him across the border? He's a citizen of El Salvador. He doesn't belong here. Why would I send him here?
That's a good question.
You know?
It's Bukele.
So when asked, okay, so telling reporters, of course, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. Right.
How can I return him to the United States? I smuggle him to the United States? Of course I'm not going to do it. The question is preposterous. I don't have the power to return him to the United States. I'm not releasing. I mean, we're not very fond of releasing terrorists into our country, he added, saying El Salvador is no longer the murder capital of the world. And so
then they think they have one of their guys.
Basically. So Attorney General Pam Bondi said, that's up to El Salvador if they want to return him. Hands clean, problem solved. And then when they kept asking Trump, he goes, how long do we have to answer this question from you? Why don't you just say, isn't it wonderful that we're keeping criminals out of our country, Trump remarked?
Yeah. Dude, this man has just chosen to laugh at a Supreme Court order.
Yeah, basically.
Because of the technicalities, he can't do anything.
Well, yeah, he kind of laughed at it. The order properly requires the government to facilitate Abrego Garcia's release from custody in El Salvador and to assure that this case is handled as it would have been had he not been improperly sent to El Salvador, the Supreme Court ruled, referencing a lower court decision. Well,
the issue, if El Salvador thinks he's a gang member and they believe that, they're not going to just release him. They have a very strict policy on that. It's you stay in the prison, goodbye.
Yeah. Wait. Pam Bondi also said the Supreme Court ruled, President, that if El Salvador wants to return him, we would facilitate it, meaning provide a plane. So basically, El Salvador's like, don't worry about it. We got this.
Do you think Trump probably asked him, hey, listen, can you do me a favor? Can you keep this guy in a prison?
I'm sure Trump did this, right? I'm sure, right? And I'm like, and I had to get my mask. I'm like, okay, how do we get him back across the border? Just do what I do in Mexico. Just, you got to go in disguise.
Of course.
You got to be in disguise. You're just a lucha. You're a lucha from El Salvador. Oh, all right.
With the blue teeth.
Original gringo right here, baby. When I used to wear a mask. Oh, this thing fits tight.
It looked a little. I think you tightened it too much in the back.
Woo! I actually haven't even tightened it in the back. I think my head's gotten bigger since last I wore this. Oh, wait, there are the ears. There are the ears. Oh, yeah.
Does it feel better?
That's a snug fit. I'm ready for WrestleMania. So you put on the blue mask. You come across the border. You can be like, I am now a lucha. You can sneak.
Captain
it's okay.
El Salvador?
I'm Captain El Salvador. Right? No, not going to work for you? No? Well, it is what it is. And that's when it's going to happen. And so I got to take that off because I got to put my glasses back on because I can't see shit without my glasses.
Can't even read.
Can't even read. I talk pretty one day. Right there. I got a bunch of these. I love these things. I used to wear these all the time. I should go back to wearing them.
If you guys think you should wear them more often, please write in the chat. That's a good answer.
Gets a little warm. Gets a little warm in there. Gets a little warm. So, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think?
I mean, he was in a gray area before.
He's in a real gray
and now he's really in a deeper gray area. I mean, this seems almost like closed shut and dealt with.
Look,
filed at the county county jail essentially. Like this guy's situation is over.
This guy's done. Look, in the end, here's what it is. He came into the country illegally. He enjoyed it for a few years. He gone now. He gone.
Not much he can.
He gone. And I know he's got a wife and she misses him. She can go to El Salvador And I know she's a U.S. citizen. But if she's a U.S. citizen, it should have been real easy. And I know this from experience. I know it from true experience because I married an immigrant, and it was really easy to get her residency, and it was really easy to get her citizenship. So why wasn't it real easy for Mr. Alberego Garcia here? Why? Because he had broken the law in the first place, as opposed to the woman I married who came here legally. So you experienced America, you sucked off the welfare tit of American taxpayers, and now you're in hell. I mean, I get it. I don't really wish that upon anybody, but I don't know. Like I said, you break the law, you pay the price. That's where it goes. That's where it happens.
Yeah, sounds about right. I mean, it's unfortunate. I mean, imagine. Okay, my only problem with this whole situation is
he looks so innocent there.
If he's not a gang member and he's just some innocent El Salvador, well, he's not fully innocent because he broke the law by entering illegally. But for the most part, beyond that innocent, it's pretty wrong. So I'm just hoping for the sake of El Salvador that this is actually a guy they want to keep in jail and not some guy that's just trying to keep him there for political points.
Well, at this point in time, he probably is a member of MS-13 being in that jail. They probably initiated him already, so
I don't think he had much of a choice.
He probably didn't have any choice, but yeah, sucks.
Yep.
If you come to the United States legally, you wouldn't have to worry about that stuff. At bottom line,
yeah.
I mean, it's all about, like, you could talk about, like, if you see a building on fire and you could talk about it being on fire and you could talk about how you're putting the fire out and all this stuff. You have all these arguments back and forth. In the end, you just have to go back to somebody lit the match to put that building on fire. All right. And if you lit the match and you started the fire, you got no one to blame but that person. And that person started the fire. So I'm not really crying a river. Again, more people have more sympathy for the gentleman. I get that. That's fine. You can have all the sympathy in the world. I don't. None, zero, zip, zills, niente.
Yeah, I mean, your perspective is also kind of fair, equally fair in the regard. But, like I said, if he's not a gang member, I don't think he should be in El Salvadorian prison.
Well, he broke the law, so he might as well be a gang member.
Wow.
That's the way I say it.
Wow.
Oh, wait, there's another article here. Live updates. Yeah, it says we won't return him. Nope, not going to return him.
Nope, he's ours.
Nope, he's ours. He belongs to ours. Oh, yeah.
He's in the system.
Yep, he's ours. Yep, let's see here. Yeah, just...
I wonder if they'll ever speak to the fact that if he was actually a member, that was confirmed, and just,
I don't think they care.
Maybe they don't.
I think once they have just like a little bit... Oh, did you see this thing too? Gretchen Whitmer. She was in the Oval Office, and she's upset that she had her picture taken in the Oval Office.
Why?
Because it made her look like she's with Trump. She was trying to hide her face and everything like that. I'm like, what are you doing? You were there for his help. He was giving you help on environmental issues. And you signing a bill for environmental issues. And you're like, no, orange man bad. I don't want a picture with him. She's such a phony, fake piece of shit.
Yeah, that's pretty phony.
I mean, she really is. She's been caught on hot mic with Kamala, whatever, the drunk lady that would want her to be president.
Wow.
Right? She was caught on hot mic in a bar saying things she wasn't supposed to say, dumb stuff, right?
Like what?
Oh, just like, if they only knew our true feelings and blah, 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 crap like that. She goes, I don't want my picture taken. That's all it was. That's all. You know what? You were there for if you're going to go there and you're going to get the guy's help, friggin', get a picture with him. Like it's going to hurt you. Like they're going to bring it back. Like you can't run for president because you were already with him. It's not like she was sleeping with the guy. It's not like she, rub and tugged him or something like that. It's just like, Jesus. Really.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past Whitmer to do that, but I mean, that's probably how she got the governor's office in the first place. Wow. Friggin'. I used to live in Michigan, and she ruined Michigan.
Yeah, she kind of fucked the place up a bit.
Yeah, she really did. She really, really did. Oh, boy, we got so much immigration news. It's all over the place. All right. Arizona or the Southeast United States?
Oh, I think I'd just say the Southeast in terms of like Asia. Southeast U.S. or Arizona? What do I think Arizona has to do with the border?
Well, they both have something to do with immigration and the border.
Oh, okay. We'll do Arizona.
Great. Arizona.
Down in Arizona.
So, this is a public service announcement from your reluctant gringo here south of the Rio Grande. If you are an illegal immigrant or a migrant or someone seeking asylum currently in the state of Arizona or thereabouts, you might want to check your email because there might be an email in there from the Homeland Security, and it would read this. U.S. Department of Homeland Security, Washington, D.C., 20528. So nice they give the zip code. Notice of termination of parole. Basically, your existence in the United States. The next line reads, "It is time for you to leave the United States." Wow. Wow. You are currently here because the Department of Homeland Security paroled you into the United States for a limited period, pursuant to 8 U.S.C., which is the law, and 8 CFR. Department of Homeland Security, DHS, is now exercising its discretion to terminate your parole. Unless it expires sooner, your parole would terminate 7 days from the date of this notice.
That's not a lot of time to get a lawyer to fight that charge.
If you do not depart the United States immediately, you will be subject to potential law enforcement actions that will result in your removal from the United States, unless you have otherwise obtained a lawful basis to remain here. Any benefits you receive in the United States connected with your parole, such as work authorization, will also terminate. You will be subject to potential criminal prosecution, civil fines, and penalties, and any other lawful options available to the federal government. Dude, this thing goes on. What do you think so far? Pretty heavy, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty heavy. I mean, imagine you're in Arizona, you cross the border. I guess this is for illegals only, though.
Well, one of these, it's a guy, he's an illegal, he's here on parole, but waiting asylum, whatever, right? Yeah, he works at the airport in Phoenix, right? Sky Harbor. His job is to go around helping people with the wheelchairs. And it's like right before he was going to go on shift, he's like, I should check my email. And he checked it, and it says, you need to leave. And he's like, and he was from Afghanistan. And it's like, well, going back to Afghanistan.
I don't think you really can go to Afghanistan and survive.
Well, that's where he's from.
I feel bad for that kind of guy.
So, Department of Homeland Security encourages you to leave immediately on your own. Otherwise, we'll kick you in the ass. You can use the CPB Home mobile app on your phone to make arrangements for your departure. If you are departing the United States via land, you should report your departure once outside the United States via the same app. If you are having trouble reporting your departure via land, visit this website. For more information about voluntarily reporting your departure, again, DHS is terminating your parole. Do not attempt to remain in the United States. The federal government will find you. Please depart the United States immediately.
That is one hell of a...
That is a politically polite way of saying, get the fuck out. That's what that means.
Well, my question is: so these people who are staying, who got this email, are they waiting on their asylum cases?
They're waiting on different. They were already paroled here for different reasons. They're waiting on cases. So the notification came out, right? It's about parole. If you don't, okay, let's go down.
My question is let's say I cross the border and I'm waiting. I'm seeking asylum. I get this email. What do I do? My case hasn't been decided.
You leave. You're done. There's no case. You're done.
There is a case because it's in a court.
Nope, not anymore.
I don't think that's what that means. That's my problem. It's like this. Listen, I mean, I'm all for strict immigration rights.
Oh, here's the man from Phoenix. Here,
hold on.
Hekmatullah Kwavanche. Not going to live here anymore. I am worried, scared, and confused, he said through an interpreter. That's good. He's in charge of wheelchairs. Anyways, continue. I'm sorry.
I was saying my concern is, listen, they're going through the process of seeking asylum. Let them go through the process and let the court handle it. That's what I say. I don't think you should be sending out an email to...
You could become the Afghan lucha libre. And you can sneak back. And you can be in WrestleMania.
Dude, you
can make it. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere.
Be on his ass immediately, right? He's from Afghanistan.
I'm just saying.
He's on the radar.
I'm just saying.
No, my only problem with this is that, listen, if they're going through the process legally, they cross the border with the help of, obviously, Homeland Security. They're like, listen, I'm seeking asylum. They're waiting for their asylum case. And then they get this email. My problem is now you're circumventing the whole asylum process. See what I mean?
You say tomato, I say tomato.
You are. And that's a problem in my opinion. Because, listen, I'm all for strong immigration and a strong border. Well, if these people are not like confirmed criminals and just seeking asylum because they're coming from Afghanistan, I think we should cut the guy a little bit of a break.
Listen, the Taliban are gonna open them, welcome them with arms wide open.
No,
just like the Creed song, with arms wide open. They're gonna be like, grow your beard. Here's a towel and a gun. Let's go.
That's not what they're gonna do. They're gonna probably get rid of that guy immediately. You've been tainted. You went to the U.S. They're gone.
I'm just saying.
Charged the crime.
This gentleman is one of scores and perhaps hundreds of asylum seekers living in Arizona alone who received similar notifications on April 10th and 11th after being paroled into the U.S. through the CBP One app during the Biden administration,
Right.
according to immigration lawyers and refugee settlement groups. Starting in 2023, the Biden administration allowed migrants to request appointments through the CPB, the app. You can just go through the app, and you're legal because you use the app. At legal border crossings as part of an effort to discourage illegal crossings and bring order to the asylum crisis at the southern border. That did not work. He effed it up. All right.
Right.
So basically, roughly 900,000 migrants were paroled into the U.S. through the use of this app, which Trump ended on the first day in office. And the Trump administration has since renamed the app CBP Home and is instructing migrants living in the U.S. to use it to self-deport.
Wow.
All this goes on. It's great. Just basically get out, terminating. Yep, it's terminating all the parole. It's saying you don't have a lawful status to remain. This process is not limited to the users. So, hey, you're gone. There's no court case. There's no court case.
I mean, there was a court case. You can't just throw it. I feel like this circumvents a lot of the law.
I'm thinking that
I think I'm going to go to the Supreme Court. And I don't think this holds up. I don't know. That's just my gut feeling.
I'm just saying. It's just they gotta go. They got 7 days, or they're illegal.
I don't think it's going to hold.
Well,
I think the Supreme Court's going to be in here and be like, listen, he has certain powers, of course. You can't do it like this.
They're saying that
they're saying that they can, but I don't think they can. You know what I mean? You know how government agencies are when they pull out a law and they say, listen, we can do it based off of this one line, and you read the whole paragraph. It's like, no, not exactly. I feel like it's not exactly that.
Well, they're saying it's a fear tactic. So here's some attorneys, right? Most migrants granted parole to enter the U.S. already have applied for asylum, another form of deportation protection.
Exactly.
They don't have to leave while their cases are pending, she said.
Which is true.
Still, the parole termination notifications are scaring immigrants who are granted parole to pursue immigration cases in the U.S. Let's see. She received a call from a man from Mexico who fled to the U.S. after cartels tried to recruit his son. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we should deport that guy.
Why flee to the U.S.? Flee to Mexico City. The cartels aren't there.
You realize how hard it is to live in Mexico City when you're coming from cartel land? You've been in this country.
I have.
We live on.
But again, why is it the immediate let's go to the U.S.?
Well, because there's no cartel there.
There's plenty of drug gangs there. His son's still going to end up in a drug gang.
Different story.
He's got experience now. He'd be able to be king.
No.
All right.
No.
So I mean, why all of a sudden? Why is it? It's always the excuse to run to the United States. Why don't you run to your own government? I'm here. It's safe where I am.
Yeah, but we live in a.
We live in a city.
We live in a city, but it's a city that's doesn't have those problems.
Okay, so there's plenty of cities in Mexico that don't have that problem.
Right.
Come to those cities.
Right.
Get a job. Right. It'd be okay.
I'm not against that necessarily. And I'm not saying the U.S. has to accept everybody, right?
Yeah, exactly. Which is why we'll go suck off the tit of welfare in the United States.
I'm gonna say though this: not everyone is as fortunate to be able to move from that city to the other city, and also is secure enough in the idea that they're going to be safe.
Listen, there's no border to have to cross. You just have to,
I know, but the cartels in Mexico and cartels will go very far to get you.
No, they're not going to. Listen, they're not going to Mexico City. They're not going to Puebla. They're not going to all those places. They're not going there. That's over-exaggerated. They just want to stay in their own territory. Just leave that territory. It's like the whole thing. It's like the old Sam Kinison bit. Right? You remember Sam Kinison, the comedian? You weren't alive.
The desert, yeah.
Yeah, the desert. It's like, if the people who live in the desert are starving, we keep bringing them food every day. Why don't we just tell them, don't freaking live in the desert because nothing grows there. Just move where the food is. You'll be okay.
Yeah, but the problem is they may not be able to. Maybe it's not. They don't have the ability to. It's easier for them to get to the U.S. than maybe it is to live in Mexico City.
What, to walk to the United States and cross a river that could kill you?
For some, they see it as worth it. Because if they're there, they're guaranteed safety. Where if they stay in Mexico, they don't know what's going to happen. So listen, I think it's a little hard to judge immediately.
We're going to have a new segment. It's called Bullshit.
Not really bullshit.
I'm calling bullshit.
I don't really think so.
Calling bullshit.
To an extent, I can understand your complaint. I do agree with it. But I think there's a better way to go about it.
I'm just saying.
Like this screams messy and this screams kind of wrong. Because I think the lawyers do have a point. It's like, listen, if they're waiting for their case lawfully. Their case hasn't been decided in asylum courts.
Oh, this is going to be a good one here.
So I don't think this holds in this does not hold in the Supreme Court.
Okay, so this one dude Corvange, the guy going back to Afghanistan, he and his wife also have a 4-month-old baby born in the U.S., making her a citizen of this country. Does it really? Because Trump says no more birthright citizenship, because you're not, and that's going to go to the U.S. Supreme Court. This will end up in the Supreme Court. That will
end up in the Supreme Court. But we're going to see what happens with that, because he does kind of have a case for it to an extent. He also might not have a case to it based off of a legal precedent. We've discussed this before. But I'm just strictly talking about the whole notices. I don't think those hold up. I really don't think they hold up in the Supreme Court.
I think they're brilliant. I think even, all right, say 900, let's say 500 people got those notices. 250 already self-deported and basically negated their case in the first place. I think it's worth it. Send out the notice. Keep sending out the notices. Make them big alerts and things like that.
But I think the Supreme Court's going to then tell you to bring it back. You have to let them get through, to bring it back to get processed, because it's wrong. They're going to say the same thing that the Supreme Court just said about the El Salvador guy. The difference is this: those people are not ending up in prison. They can easily get back over the border then if they get approved. So I think, listen, I don't think this holds up in the Supreme Court. I'm not listen. Like I said, I'm pro strong immigration laws. I think there should be a secure border. There's a right way to do it. This doesn't seem like the right way to do it. This seems like a mess.
Seems brilliant.
It seems like a legal. No, it seems like a legal mess, and it looks like it's going to cost the U.S. money more.
Dude, that's what he's doing. He's picking fights. He wants to pick these fights. He wants to get these things done.
It seems like it's going to. No, this is not a good fight. Though you're going to lose this fight. It's going to make you look weak. I think so.
Okay, so our Afghanistan friend also said if he does, he said his life will be in danger, and his 4 daughters will have no future because under the Taliban, girls are banned from receiving secondary education. Again, in that whole sentence, I want to ask this question: how does that make it my problem? How does that make it the problem of the United States? Hey, guess what? The U.S. military was there for 20 years trying to free your country, but apparently people like you didn't help out. Pick up a fucking rifle and shoot the Taliban. They're still there. So, you know what? We tried. 20 years. We're done trying.
I get that sentiment, but then why don't we talk about the South Vietnamese, who those people moved to the U.S. and became part of the country?
Yeah,
they fought. I'm sure those people also fought too.
They did fight,
and they fled. They fled Afghanistan because they realized, guess what?
I don't think any of the people that fled Afghanistan were fighting shoulder to shoulder with the U.S. military.
Not a lot, probably, but not as much as
not like the South Vietnam. Those people were like all over the place.
No, but still. But my point is, like, it's you can't be like, oh, potato with these guys.
I'm just saying, it's potato.
No, right? It's not potato. It's not the same thing. The guy fled the Taliban, ran.
Again, I didn't create Afghanistan. Hey, Taliban.
Taliban also comes from the north of Afghanistan. They don't come from the.
Great, go live in the south.
No, they control all of it. That's my point.
Well,
my point is this.
This is your chance to go back there, be a patriot for your country of Afghanistan, and make it safe for your daughters.
That's not going to happen. You're just going to get butchered. That's just wrong. I don't know.
You can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs.
Listen, I can be honest with you on this one. I disagree. I think you're a little too harsh on this guy. This guy clearly does have a concern. It's fair. I mean, imagine you had a daughter and you're being forced to go back to Afghanistan. What are you going to do? You're not going to pick up a gun and shoot. I know you.
Should have worn a rubber. Anyways, hey.
Oh, wow.
Hey, the liberals would be fine with that.
No.
Birth control, population control, they'd be fine with that.
No. I just think it was messy.
I don't believe.
I think this is just the wrong thing to do. I feel gross more about this.
It is time for you to leave the United States.
Yeah.
It's like closing time at a bar. You don't have to go home.
It's not exactly
but
the same.
You can't stay here.
No, it's not the same, because these are people who are going through the cases legally. They went through a legal. They were presented a legal option by an administration. Sure, did they do it the wrong way? Absolutely. Was this the result you wanted? No. But listen, they followed the law that you gave them.
They can go to Canada.
No, they're not going to be able to. You want them to end up in Canada somehow, and not exactly. Okay, how do you expect them to get to Canada?
Same way they got here, illegally.
Oh wow.
Just saying.
But they didn't go in illegally. They came in legally.
Well,
that's the difference. Yeah,
they were paroled.
They were paroled in legally through the.
Usually, you're paroled. When you get paroled, it means because you committed a crime.
No, not in this case. Paroled in the sense that, okay, you're going to come to the border, you're going to claim asylum. We will parole you into the system of asylum and see if you actually qualify.
Well,
that's not the same thing.
So now you've been paroled out.
Not exactly. No, I don't know. I don't agree with this. This just seems messy.
I thought you would like this one. I like this one a lot. I was just like, yeah. You know, you use the same app to say everybody come in. You know, you can use the same app to say everybody get out.
It's just, if they went through the whole legal channel, it just seems wrong. It's cheap.
I don't think entering your name into an app is considered going through the legal channels.
No, I agree with you. It shouldn't be that way. But that was what the government decided, and it's not their fault.
Well,
it's not the government.
So if the government made it so Biden's allowed to make a huge mistake one way, but if Trump can't do the same thing on the exact opposite,
two wrongs doesn't make a right.
Yeah, but you know what?
It doesn't make a right. You know that. I know that.
I think it does.
It doesn't.
I think it does.
It doesn't. If you really want to get those people out, you go through the asylum and immigration courts and say, "Are you actually in danger?" Like with the son. Even though I understand.
Everybody can say they're in danger.
No.
The world sucks. Everybody's in danger.
Listen, I'm going to be honest, right? If they really aren't in danger, you can easily prove that in court. You really can, because it's your court. You decide. Is this reliable, real danger to this person? If it's not, you tell them, sorry, it's not our problem. You don't qualify for asylum. You get rid of them, and then you handle it through that way. That's the legal way, and that's the way you should be doing it.
Let's coddle everybody.
It's not coddling.
Don't fix your own country. Just come here because you can't fix it.
Hey, listen, Statue of Liberty says, give me your weak, give me your weary.
You should now say no vacancy.
It doesn't say that.
Well, we can re-etch it into there.
Listen.
Someone get a hammer and chisel.
Like I said, I'm all for strong immigration law, but we inherited a problem from the Biden administration, and there's a way you've got to fix it, and you got to do it the legal and the right way, because if you just go in and try to take a hammer to it, you're just going to cause more problems for yourself, and you're also going to backload the immigration courts, which is going to cause even more problems.
That's why I skipped the courts. Just tell them to get out.
No, that's the problem. You're going to backload it by telling them that. Because now you're circumventing the courts, and the courts are going to be like, no.
It's already backloaded.
Yeah, now you're going to backload it more with useless cases that you're going to lose no matter what.
Well, that was just Arizona. Would you like to hear about the Southeast?
I know about these ones. Listen, if it has to do with the Palestinian, the pro-Hamas stuff, I'm for it.
Visas revoked for students at universities in southern states amid the crackdown. The Trump administration's revocation of student visas in a separate action, termination of students from a tracking system of foreign scholars, has spread to the South. Like it's a virus, it hasn't spread to the South. It's awesome. All right. Here we go.
If these guys are backing Hamas, they gotta go.
Yeah, basically that's what they're doing.
Okay, well then they gotta go.
So Texas, New Mexico, all throughout the South, right?
I'd rather have the person who has a daughter that is American, the Afghani guy pushing wheelchairs, who's going through the legal process, than somebody who came here, lied about on their visa application that they do not align themselves with terrorist organizations, but still attend a protest that does support Hamas. Regardless if you think you're supporting Palestine, you're supporting Hamas. That's the reality of it. I'd rather have that guy than the person on that visa. Would you agree? I mean, you'd probably say you'd rather have none of them, but
I'm just saying. They shouldn't be here. Shouldn't be here. So dozens of students have gotten their visas revoked now in southern states by Marco Rubio. And there's no real reason for giving. They just said, hey, you're done. You got to go.
Hold on. Are these not students who are protesting for a
terrorist
organization?
They don't say.
They don't say?
They don't say.
Well, that's kind of a problem. Don't you have to give a reason?
No.
I feel like you have to give a reason. Is that
I
not the law?
don't think you need to give it. I think you just do it.
No, I'm pretty sure legally you have to give a reason.
You revoke your visa.
Hold on. I want to figure that out.
So some was tied to activism, but not all.
Hold on. Provide a reason for visa revocation. Let's see. Okay, Jenny does not provide instances. All right, yeah. No, I guess they don't, but they have to provide a notice of intent to revoke.
Yeah, this is what this is. So, like, Texas A&M spokesperson Megan Lacey said 23 international students have had their CVIS record terminated. A CVIS record termination essentially terminates the individual's legal status in the country. That's great. 23 spots open up for citizens of the United States to go to Texas A&M and maybe get those scholarships.
What?
Just saying.
What's Texas A&M doing with those scholarships?
Well, I mean, there's 23 international students. They get their record revoked.
Oh, that's not Texas A&M only.
That's just Texas A&M only.
I thought you just started Texas. I didn't hear that.
But we've had this happen in New Mexico State, University of North Carolina, Middle Tennessee State, North Carolina. We said that. University of Houston, baby, Rice University. That's right.
So long as the reasons are valid.
University of Texas at Austin.
I'm cool. If they're valid and legal reasons, then that means they were executed according to the law, and that's okay with me. I have no problem so long as it is followed according to the law and the intent of the law and the spirit of the law. So long as it follows those 3 kind of rules, that's fine.
Sometimes you just got to clean out the garage and throw everything out.
That's not how that works, Gringo. You and I both know that.
Sometimes it's the best thing you can do.
Gringo, that's how you cause a mess.
You know, when you open, everybody's got a junk drawer at home. You know, you get the packets of ketchup from McDonald's you never use, a couple safety pins. You know, takeout food menus you haven't ordered from in 3, 4, 5 years. Other crap that's thrown in there, half-dead batteries, you know, pieces of plastic, the things you don't know what they belong to anymore. Sometimes you just got to take the drawer, dump it out, and say, let's start clean.
There's a better way to do it. There's a better way to do it. There's a better way to organize it. There's a better process that maintains.
My way's more
follows the law.
My way's more fun.
No, your way is asking for Supreme Court cases, problems in the system, and dividing courts up even more, which I don't look to do.
Well, I'm just saying, this is what's happening. Strap in, everybody.
I don't think it's going to hold. Those visas ones for the universities, I think will hold probably. I imagine they have. Listen, I trust Rubio when it comes to how he's going to handle those situations and the reason behind those visa revocations. I trust him a lot more with that. Mm-hmm. I don't like what's going on in Arizona exactly. Or is that only in Arizona specifically? Is that in general?
It seemed like it was only in Arizona.
Yeah, that probably isn't going to last. Let's be honest.
So,
all right, moving on. Who do we got next?
Well, remember Mahmoud Khalil, the Colombia activist that's like at the center of like all the protests and everything like that?
Yeah, this guy's got it. Well, this guy's got it.
That guy's got it. He has a friend.
Who's got?
You got a friend in me.
Is another Colombian student?
Mohsen Mahadwahi, a U.S. resident, was arrested after this guy was actually at his naturalization interview, and he got arrested. You made it all the way to the interview. It's like you made it to the final boss and got your ass kicked because you forgot to power up or take a health care. You know, it's like a health kit.
Okay, what did this guy do?
All right, the Columbia University student who co-founded Mahmoud Khalil, a university organization called Palestinian Student Union, was arrested Monday by Department of Homeland Security again. Agents, his attorneys told ABC News. He's a permanent resident of the United States. He was arrested and detained after attending his naturalization interview in Vermont.
Random ass thing.
Why Vermont? Don't know, right? Because it's probably one of the most liberal states that are out there.
Probably.
Okay. He's not allowed to be deported yet, pending further order from the court because he's going to have a trial. Everybody's going to have the trial.
Everyone has to have a trial. That's a court of law. What do you mean everyone's going to have a trial? That's like the spirit of America. Listen, land of the free, land of the lawsuit, land of the court. That's welcome.
Outspoken critic of Israel's military campaign in Gaza and an activist and organizer in student protests on Columbia's campus until March 24th. So all this stupid bullshit that was going on in Columbia, threatening Jewish students, closing down campuses, vandalism. Yeah, he helped co-found that whole thing. All right. After which he took a step back and has not been involved in organizing. Basically, he said, "Oh shit, Donald Trump's president. I can't do this no more."
When did he step back?
He stepped back. Which he took a step back. It doesn't say. But he stepped back.
I wonder when he stepped back.
Maybe when his buddy got arrested.
I don't think so.
When his little protest buddy.
I wonder if he stepped back earlier than that. And kind of saw where this was going. I was like, this isn't good. Because then if he did step back earlier, right, I think he might have a shot at winning his case.
Look, here's the tough guy doing his meditation. He's got a little tattoo. He's a tough guy.
No, that's what he's intended.
You're Jewish. You're Jewish. Jewish kids can't go to school. I'm not going to allow Jewish kids. I'm going to take over the campus and have Uber Eats delivered.
If he did organize those protests, then yeah, he's got to go.
So it's not like they were.
If he didn't organize the protests and just organize
earlier today, his lawyers
organization
rejected a claim the
at
White
the
House's
university,
claim
there's nothing wrong with founding
that he distributed
creating
pro-Hamas
a
propaganda.
cultural organization.
Where do things stand?
If that's your only
right
charge
now?
against him,
Yeah,
probably not going to hold him. But if he did create, not only did he create the organization, right? If he also helped stage the protests, then he's got to go.
Of course he did.
If he did, he's got to go. Because I'm wondering when did he step back?
Well, here's what he has to say. Here's his sob story. As a child, he watched an Israeli soldier shoot and kill his best friend in the West Bank. Listen, I don't know of many instances of Israeli soldiers just going around shooting children. That's what Hamas does. So maybe you were watching your own people. Anyways, he's fearful that if he loses his lawful permanent resident status and is removed to the West Bank, he will experience the same harassment, detention, and torture that his family has experienced. You mean the same harassment, detention, and torture you tried to put on the students at Columbia University? You seem not to have a problem with it when you're doing it to other people.
Well, if he did participate in those protests, if he did not also help create those, then yeah, then you gotta go.
So
If
again,
he
she's
didn't,
breaking that down, but it
he
sounds
might
like
have
this
a
is
case.
a really dicey and
You might have a
thorny
case.
legal
I'm just saying. I'm not saying.
fight.
All right, let's have the
That's
trial.
going
Let's
up in
talk about
27, so we'll see
what exactly
else his lawyers have to say
he
to
did not
the
do,
federal
which
immigration
That's the
judge
point.
there,
Is it-
but
if he
again,
co-founded.
If you- okay.
All right, let's waste everybody's time when we already know he's the co-founder of this organization.
He can't. Okay, you can co-found. Listen, I helped co-found a board game club in my university.
Yeah, but you never had anti-Semitic protests in the street over Monopoly.
No, stop it. But if like 2 years from now that club starts holding those kind of
All right,
protests,
Morgan Norwood, thank you.
are you going to charge me with the crime?
But that's not what happened.
What he's only, or the only fact we know is this is definitive. He created the cultural organization.
Cooperate with this
We
administration
do not know if he had
puts,
any
quote, hundreds of
hand in
students
the
danger
protest.
of government
If he did,
retaliation,
he's got to go. If he
doxing,
didn't,
and harassment.
listen, he's got a lot of leeway here, and that's just the reality of it. If you look at according to the law, he's got a lot of leeway. Because there's nothing illegal about creating a cultural organization. I mean, you're Arab. Imagine you made an Arab cultural organization in your university.
Yeah.
2 years later, they hold a protest and it's anti-Semitic.
I would tell people I was no, that I wouldn't be. But
that could be the situation he's in. That's
But Marco Rubio,
This type of violence
Secretary of
is
State,
not okay.
if they know for a fact, he
wrote
was-
that Khalil should be deported because of his alleged role in anti-Semitic protests and disruptive activities, which fosters a hostile
Okay.
environment for Jewish students in the United States.
if he did, if I'm saying this, and this is concurrent, and
This is the part of the fence
consistent
the
with my
suspect
argument.
breached
If he
to
did
make his way
participate
inside
in
the
those
governor's
protests
residence where
and
he
help
set the
organize
fire
them,
with an incendiary
he's got to
device.
go. You got to
The
go.
immigration judge ruled on Friday that Khalil can be deported based on those grounds. So this guy's going to get deported
I'll give you that
too
answer
as
on
well.
Monday.
So another Columbia
Very
student
specific on
Yeah,
Monday.
listen,
probably got free tuition, all that stuff.
listen.
But the American didn't.
Don't protest in favor for a terrorist organization. That's what I'm gonna say. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yep, trying to become a U.S. citizen. I hate America, but I want to be a citizen here.
Yeah, I never get that. That never makes sense to me. I never understood it.
Good luck in the West Bank, buddy.
Yeah, good luck.
Good luck. See how you like
I
that.
really thought this was gonna go a different direction.
Nope.
I thought that was gonna go a direction of they only know this one fact of him. But if Marco Rubio and the Department of Homeland Security and all their intelligence tells you that he was like the second guy there, the right-hand man, helping organize those protests, yeah, you gotta go.
You gotta go.
You gotta go.
Get rid of them all.
See how consistent I am with my
Just
argument?
turn the door, the revolving door that Biden had going in, just set it to going out.
Look,
Just keep feeding them in there.
right.
Like a wood chipper.
For people who are illegal and have broken the law. Yes, in a rightful and just manner.
And if
Yes.
people think I'm being insensitive, hey, I follow the immigration laws of the country that I'm in right now.
True.
I go when I gotta go. I fill out the papers I gotta fill out. I don't break the law. I don't
That's-
speak.
yes, yeah, that's
I
the
don't
point.
speak shit about the country that I don't think I have a right to speak shit about.
Right.
Unless it affects my wife and my family personally. Other than that, I'm a good gringo. I believe in Jesus. I'm very nice. I'm very polite. I don't start shit. You won't see me out there in a protest rally against the Mexican government.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't even think you'd know what to protest against.
I could find plenty of things to protest against, but you're not going to see me out there going F Mexico. But let me stay. Let me stay and have the benefits. But fuck you guys. It's like it don't make. I mean, come on. It's a bunch of bullshit, right? Oh, Caesar walking around. Caesar, are you awake? Our dog Caesar. He's an old man.
Yeah, just to come and interfere.
Is he? You here? Are you
Yeah.
making an appearance finally?
Can I put him on camera once?
You can put him on camera if you want.
I don't know how
care.
to get him on camera, though.
I don't know what he wants right now. What?
He wants
You're
attention
gonna
and
bang
food.
your head on the table. This is what happens when we don't leave you with your mother. You get nervous because you don't know where mama is.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, there's our rescue dog. Not from Mexico. He's from Los Angeles, actually, originally.
But we adopted him.
He's from East LA.
Wait, but where did we adopt him?
Michigan.
Exactly. See how random that is? How did he come from East LA to Michigan?
I don't know, but he did. You were a Los Angelino.
And then he became a Tejano.
He's a hound dog. It's me just patting his belly. He's a big fat guy.
He's a little
Make
fat.
him fat.
He's a bit fat.
Right?
I'm not a little fat. He's very fat.
Yep. He's just kind of just going nuts. Like, I know. I love you, buddy.
All right. But you got anything more to do?
About that news story? No, we got plenty of other news stories.
You want to move on?
Okay. Political violence or LGBTQ? You choose.
One of those I just don't give a shit about. But political violence sounds interesting.
Okay.
I would never participate in it. I'm curious what this was about. Who's getting hurt for their politics? Because that's just wrong.
Well, apparently a Pennsylvania man is charged with attempting to kill the governor of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro.
Okay,
And he told police he hated him and he would have beaten him. Cody Balmer, 38 of Harrisburg, walked an hour to the residence before scaling a fence and breaking into the governor's mansion. All right, before I go on, I have many, many questions.
First of all,
where the fuck were the police? Where the
shit security? That's the worst security I've ever heard.
Anybody with a political brain would know that Josh Shapiro is one of the top 5 candidates to take the Democratic nomination for president in about 3 years. This man should have plenty more security than he already does. All right, anyways, he evaded police and fled on foot before turning himself in. Well, what did he do? Well, you see that right there, that picture? That's part of the governor's mansion.
Did he light it on fire?
Molotov cocktails, baby.
All right. Damn.
Molotov cocktails.
All right.
He's charged with attempted homicide of a governor of a state in the United States, of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
They don't carry the death penalty.
I don't think they do, right?
Yeah, I don't think.
He's
just life imprisonment.
He's admitted to harboring hatred toward Shapiro. Really? We needed the guy to admit that he tried to light.
The burning down of the manor was not enough evidence that he hated the governor.
Wait. They even have the. Is this? This is great product placement. Listen to this. He evaded police while on the property, breaking a window and throwing a Heineken beer bottle filled with gasoline into the piano room in a wing of the governor's mansion. Right? Why do they have to say it's a Heineken?
Just gotta be. You gotta be. Different bottles.
A little bit of money, a little ching for the Heineken company right there.
I don't think you read this.
Product placement, baby.
I don't think you read this and think, wow, I want a Heineken.
I kind of do right now, actually. I feel like I could have a Heineken.
You can't drink, Ringo.
I know I can't drink, but I still like Heineken. Heineken and Molson Ice. It's Canadian beer.
Canadian and Dutch beer. What's wrong with you?
Dude, I'm just saying.
Canadian
it's
Dutch.
good stuff.
What's wrong with you?
It's good stuff.
You need help.
I do need help. You know, I have taste. It's better than the lukewarm piss they serve as American beer.
Yeah.
All right. It lit 2 more homemade Molotov cocktails before fleeing on foot. So this guy had a real plan. He was going to walk to the place he was going to set on fire and then run away.
No, the man was determined. I mean,
He really was, right?
Give him credit for his determination, and also for the fact that his plan technically worked almost.
Yeah. It's unclear how Bama was allowed to enter the property because there's a 24/7 detail assigned to the governor.
Tonight, the violent earthquake striking
Shit
San
detail.
Diego
Shit
County
detail.
and the
Someone-
entire region is now
someone-
facing
people are getting fired.
aftershocks.
My God. And it's the state police of Pennsylvania, which they're usually pretty good. I mean, granted, they're pretty strict. I mean, they'll pull you over for farting while driving. Really, serious to God. You do 1 mile over the speed limit, you get pulled over.
Really?
Oh, they're friggin', they're ridiculous.
They're strict?
Ridiculous.
Strict as could be.
Oh, my God, it was so just like crappy driving through some areas of Pennsylvania. Literally, if you just looked at them funny, they'd pull you over. All right. According to the complaint, Balmer's ex-paramour? Are they saying ex-girlfriend, ex-lover, ex-paramour? Called police and said that Balmer had confessed to her and wanted her to call the police to turn him in. So wait a minute, they didn't even catch him when he was running away?
El Salvador's president.
Oh, they didn't even know who the guy was.
Oh, wow.
He was scot-free. It just somebody else was just like.
Bama then appeared at the state police headquarters in Harrisburg on Sunday afternoon to turn himself in. He's like, "Hey, yo, you looking for me?" He's like John Doe in 7. Detectives, I think you're looking for me. And I'm like, what the frig?
So the police didn't even do their job.
Oh, this gets better. Anyway,
please.
He told investigators he hated Shapiro and that if he found him at the property early Sunday morning, he would have, quote, beaten him with a hammer. He had brought with him to break into the residence.
A woman trapped on the edge of a cliff.
I don't think you should be saying this to the police.
I don't think this guy's all there.
No,
I think he's got yeah.
I think he complete insanity.
What's up with hammers and beating on political people? Remember the guy that broke into Pelosi's house?
yeah.
Beat her husband with a hammer?
Yeah.
You know, Paul Pelosi there, that poor bastard, standing there in his underwear.
I feel
Jesus
super
Christ.
Have you seen the police footage?
Oh yeah, I've seen the police
It's
footage.
like ridiculous because the guy's like smiling, holding the hammer to look at the police. The guy's like, "Oh, we're fine."
Well, and the police are like talking to him, like, dude, he's got a hammer in his hand. Just open fire. Just shoot the guy. Just shoot him. He's got a hammer.
It's a hammer.
It's the husband of the Speaker secure the house.
I think
Put a bullet in that guy's chest, okay?
I think you
Good evening,
got
everyone. I'm
maybe
Lindsay
kneecaps
Davis.
and
Thanks
it
for
didn't
streaming
handle the
with us.
rest
We
of
begin
it.
tonight with
Oh
a
my
suspect in
God.
court
Oh.
late today.
He scaled the
Facing
fence on the
attempted
property.
murder
How do you
and
He's
scale-
breaking in to
after
start
authorities
fires.
say
He's
he
fleeing
fired
on
on
foot.
the home of
And the
Pennsylvania
keys,
Governor Josh
and
Shapiro
literal
while the
Keystone
family was
cops.
asleep.
And
The
people
charge
old enough to
remains
get
the
that
governor's
reference will
residence.
understand why
Police
Keystone
say
State,
this man
Keystone
scaled
cops.
the fence and
Like the
fired
old
on
black and white
governor's
silent films where the
mansion
cops
using
just ran around like
cocktails and
idiots.
gasoline
Couldn't
to
catch
torch
nobody.
the first
I get
floor.
it.
That's what this
Just
was.
hours before
That's
the
what this
Shapiro
was.
celebrated the
The
first night
fact that
Passover
this
in that
this
very
occurred and the police didn't even like catch him.
violence is
He literally
becoming
turned
far
himself
too
and was like,
common
"Yeah,
in
you
our
guys are shit at
society.
your job. I'll do it for you.
And
I don't even give you my
give a damn
motive."
if it's coming from one
Guys,
particular
that-
side or the other.
Suspect
I feel like people are
Gallagher
getting
is
fired.
now under arrest. Authorities say the
People are getting
attack
fired, right?
Hey, Shapiro thanked President Donald Trump and federal authorities for supporting state police in the investigation.
Judge
That's
Esther
nice.
Salas,
Hey.
whose son was
Yeah,
tragically
he spoke
killed
with
after
FBI
he
Director
answered his
Kash
family's
Patel,
door in 2020.
extremely kind and
The
courteous and
family
thoughtful in
joined
his
us. But first,
conversation with
chief
me,
investigative
said Governor
correspondent
Shapiro.
Aaron Katursky reports from
J.D.
Harrisburg,
Vance
Pennsylvania.
condemned the really disgusting violence on X, saying, "Thanks be to God that Governor Shapiro and his family were unharmed in this attack."
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Unity. We need unity.
Oh wait, this guy Bomber has faced criminal charges on several occasions over the last decade, including, okay, listen, assault, forgery, and traffic-related offenses. At some point in time, shouldn't he have gone to jail?
Was he not in jail?
Piano room and part of the
Apparently
dining room destroyed.
Oh,
Chairs
Jesus.
and tables charred.
Apparently not.
Objects
What's with
melted.
Pennsylvania law here? A little soft, no?
Earlier, the
In 2023, Bomber was charged with 3 counts of simple assault in a
Lori
case
and
that
I
is
are
ongoing.
overwhelmed.
In 2016, he pleaded guilty
By
to
the
1 felony
prayers.
count of forgery. He was sentenced to 18 months of probation.
Oh,
And the
probation.
messages
Probation.
of
There we go.
support
There you go. Really taught him a lesson there.
from all across
Took a
Pennsylvania.
Molotov to the governor.
Probation. That'll teach you.
A senior
Dude,
law
took a-
enforcement
dude,
official tells
I just
ABC
can't
News
believe the
authorities
fact that the police couldn't catch
investigating
him.
whether
But
this
seriously,
attack had been
this
motivated
man
by
right
the
here that
governor's
you're looking
Jewish
at
faith.
is there. It's
Shapiro
top
and his
5.
family were
Top
gathered
5
Saturday
to
evening
take
with 2 dozen
over
others.
the
He
Democratic
shared
Party,
this photo
to
of
beat
his senior
Newsom,
plate.
to beat the hag
Hours
there
later,
in
state
Michigan,
troopers
Whitmer,
banging on the
that
door
didn't
to
want her
get
picture
everyone
taken. She can go suck an egg.
Been closed.
Tim Walz said he's going to run. That ain't going to happen. Kamala said she might run again. That ain't going to happen.
Those two are not winning.
Yeah. So this guy's
Somebody
like
top 3.
Yeah, this guy's like the top. I bet the governor of Massachusetts. She runs. She'll get killed.
Yeah, no, she won't.
This is the part
Yeah,
of the fence
she-
the suspect
She'll get
breached to
killed.
make his
But
way
this guy could
inside
win.
the governor's
This
residence.
guy is like a real
Fire
like
with
if
a
Kamala
device.
chose him
Investigators cut away this
as the vice
suspect
president running
so they
mate,
could
she'd have a
do
much
DNA
better shot.
testing.
Yeah, she.
Today,
I'm
the
not saying she
governor
would have
surveyed the
won.
damage.
Yeah,
Authorities
it
say
might have been
Bomber
closer. She
fled
could have.
to
She could have
later
taken
today.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, she could have maybe
Authorities
taken Pennsylvania.
say the 38-year-old
Or at least been more
mechanic had a
competitive in the
plan.
Midwest.
But they didn't want to. Part of it is because a lot of people say because he's Jewish.
The governor's residence, allegedly while
I
harboring
personally could care less
I
that
could
he
care
is.
less, but I can understand that. You know,
But I get it.
You're
I
not
get
going to
it.
North Carolina or Georgia, probably.
Yeah, it might not play in the Midwest and the South a little bit, but then again, you never know. I mean, you never know.
You never know.
All right.
It's sad that kind of has to come into play, but people are people.
All right, more political violence. It wouldn't be political violence without the orange man.
Yes, this one. I
You
saw
know about this one.
This is wild.
You go ahead. Then. If you got it, you got it.
I don't have it here fully because I don't have it in front of me. You have it in front of me.
Okay.
I'll let you read it. And I'll fill in the blanks.
Well, apparently, being a teenager in Wisconsin is difficult because
17-year-old one, too.
yeah, this 17. It's all about. It's a 17-year-old Wisconsin teen was arrested in March for allegedly killing his parents in a part of a plan to assassinate the president.
He had $14,000. He took their money.
And he didn't
And I think
say
he had a
much
gun.
other than he held the
Nikita
judgment
Kasap
that he
allegedly
did
shot
not
his
have a
35-year-old
history
mother,
of
mother
mental health
Tatiana,
problems,
and
but
his
authorities are
51-year-old
ruling out
stepfather,
nothing
Donald.
when it
The
comes
bodies
to
are
the
found
search
inside their
for
residence where the
motive.
teen
They'll look at
allegedly
his
lived in the house with the bodies
financial
for 12 days.
history,
There's
social
the first
media
red
posts
flag.
made
This
about
person is
politicians
fucked up
from
in the
both
head.
How do you
different
live
political
with 2
parties.
dead bodies for 12
He's
days?
probably talking to him, probably dressing up in his underwear, dancing around, singing as they're propping him up as like his audience.
You know, I'm actually going to say, you might be right on that one. You might be right.
You never know. Maybe he's just like, I don't know. Who knows what he's doing with it?
No, I don't know.
Who knows? The authorities in the Waukesha County charged the teen with 2 counts of first-degree
Joining us
murder
now is
and
U.S.
2
District
counts
Court
of hiding
Judge
a corpse.
Esther Salas.
What, is he really hiding him?
Judge, thank you.
He just left him where he
Yeah,
found
it
him.
doesn't really count as hiding. It's
Oh,
not
yeah.
like it was his property.
Other charges include theft of property of over $10,000 and misappropriating ID to obtain money. Again, he had $14,000 of his parents' stuff. Okay, the next stuff is trigger warning. The stuff I'm going to read to you next is a little triggering.
Because you have had that kind
Just
of
bear with
intimate
me,
experience
and I'll try to
with
get
this
through
kind
it.
of violence.
All right. He's considered consistent. So federal charges of conspiracy, presidential assassination, and use of weapons of mass destruction, or conspiracy to do so. The FBI began to analyze Kassab's alleged writings. Federal court documents reported, which included an appeal for a Trump assassination, photos of Adolf Hitler with captions. And you can all read the captions right here. I ain't saying those things. I ain't fucking saying them.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
And then save the white race. Save the white race by shooting the white president and shooting your white parents? Where the fuck does that make any sense?
No, I don't know. You know what's weirder is they found he was part of some group
called the Order of the Nine Angels.
Yeah, Order of the Nine. He got messages in Russian. So this is kind of a bit of more of a conspiracy. It's not just him. There's a bit of a conspiracy.
Yeah, he's got all sorts of messages.
You mentioned the times
it's in Russian, English. It's really weird. I had to translate the text.
At this point,
it gets kind of weird and
like
creepy.
we're seeing this ratcheting
I'm sure this was probably
up
floated by
of
Trump. He probably is aware of this.
violence and
to an
rhetoric
extent.
against
Dude,
those
it's just
who are
another
trying
day
to
for him at
uphold
this
the
point.
law.
But if he's probably,
It seems like every other day there's like someone who's trying to kill him.
Yeah, it's almost excessive.
It's ridiculous. It's just like
It's excessive. I almost said it's almost excessive. It is excessive.
But I don't get the like okay. You get the liberals that say he's all right. Here's where our country's so fucked up. You have all the Democrats that call Donald Trump Hitler, call him a Nazi, call him a dictator, call him this, call him that, right? Call him he hates. So obviously he hates Jews and he hates minorities because he's Hitler, right? Then you get the actual Nazis that are actually in the country, the real Nazis that I wish we would keep an eye on a little bit better.
We keep an eye on these people.
Just
These people need to be on lists.
a little bit of surveillance there, right?
I'm not fond of putting people on lists, but these people need to be put on lists.
They think by killing this guy is going to further their cause.
Those in power trying to tone this down.
Oh, you can hear a
Do
video.
you feel, and are you
What
concerned
lady?
that it feels that
What
the
video
threat
do you
has
have
never
playing,
been
Gringo?
greater
I don't know.
against the judiciary? When you have, for example, President Trump
Do you have a
who's
commercial in the
rallying
news
against
there?
calling for the
Mike.
impeachment of the federal
there we
judge
go.
who
Wow.
ruled against his deportation.
There we go. Sorry about that. Forgot to pause that. Okay.
Gringo.
But anyways. But there's the ridiculousness of it. So you got the whole left thinking that this guy's Hitler, and then you get the people who actually love Hitler thinking they ought to kill this guy. He can't win.
Yeah, you can't beat the allegations, but you also aren't. The allegations also aren't true. Isn't that weird? The one side thinks you're Hitler. The side that actually likes Hitler and wants to support that guy thinks you're a problem and need to go.
I don't know.
How does that work?
I don't know.
Does not one side look at the other and just kind of think, someone's wrong here?
No, they don't, because they don't really care to listen to each other.
Yeah, I mean, not that you should be listening to Nazis. Let's be honest.
All right, let's get into some gay stuff.
Sorry, what?
All right.
What?
You ready for the gay stuff?
No, I'm not. What?
Okay.
You can't know.
Hungary adopts constitutional amendment to ban LGBTQ plus gatherings.
Oh, I've heard of this.
That's just Hungary.
That's just Hungary.
Hungary being hungry.
That's Hungary doing hungry things. It's like Poland.
The controversial amendment also recognizes only two sexes. Well, that's not controversial because there are only two
Well,
sexes.
that's just science, people. Listen, you disagree with me if you want. It's fine. That's fine.
Providing a basis for denying other gender identities. There's already a basis. It's called the X chromosome, Y chromosome. It's called science. So
you can't really change it.
I don't see the problem here. Why is this controversial?
Because they have EU membership and the EU thinks it's wrong, but the EU can never. The EU, how EU works is everyone has to agree that this country's wrong, right? But the problem is they're buddies with Poland, so Poland will never say they're wrong. 140 votes for and 21 against. Seems pretty popular amendment. Yeah, in the country, it makes sense.
Okay, recent ban on Pride events. That's fine because all they do is just, have you actually seen the real footage of Pride events? Not the sanitized shit. I've been in San Francisco to see some of those Pride events.
I've never seen
any.
And
literally, they'll have guys walking down the street naked, their dogs hanging out. Children are like right there, they're like, what the frig? They're freaking doing shit to each other that you wouldn't. It's disgusting.
Really?
Like, you want to do that in your own home? Fine. Don't do it on the street. Dude, it's fucked up.
True?
It's very true. You can
I don't
look for the unsanitized.
No, I don't want to watch that.
I'm sure you don't, but it's ridiculous. I've seen it. It's ridiculous.
All right.
It's ridiculous. So good that they.
I guess.
Good that they did that. They want to suppress dissent. They say weaken human rights. No, just stop with your bullshit. You're not a protected class. Just because you like to ride the Hershey Highway doesn't give you any more rights than somebody who doesn't. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, this is just a weird class to have protection for. I get I always understood hate crime stuff in the U.S. in terms of the laws that protect minority groups like that.
Yep.
I got that because that was a problem.
And why? Because what do they like to do? Stupid shit like this. Oh, we don't like the law you passed, so we're going to set off smoke bombs in Parliament.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck you people.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Fuck all you people. You know, you want to do what you want to do in your own home? Fine. You don't have a right to do anything else. Not anything else than anybody else's. Block same-sex couples from adopting children. Okay.
I don't get that one. What does that exactly help you do?
It is what it is.
I don't get the purpose of that. I kind of have more problem with that, but I got another reasoning here.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't know the reasoning here.
They just don't think, they think that's not a real couple. They want traditional family values, a man and a woman, mother and father.
All right. I mean, Hungary will do Hungary what Hungary wants. I don't know. It's just a little odd to kind of limit people's rights. I mean, if you're okay with them already being married, why not let them be okay with like adopting a kid?
No more LGBTQ plus issues in school education programs. That's fine.
That just makes sense.
That just makes sense because
that's apparent for conversations between parents and
we're going to learn about math
children.
today. Nope, we're not going to learn about children. Put away your math books. Oh, you wanted to read Shakespeare and understand? Nope. Oh,
okay,
you wanted to learn to write your name.
Shakespeare is not something people are eager to learn about. People groan when they hear. Oh,
at least they're learning to read. Is my point.
Yeah,
but instead we put away all that stuff so we could learn about LGBTQ plus.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Very stupid.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you on that one.
Thousands of people have since been taken to the streets, blocking bridges and major thoroughfares with chants of democracy and assembly is fundamental rights.
This is democracy.
That is democracy.
The votes came in 41 to 22.
It's called democracy. They passed the law.
They literally followed the procedure to a T.
It's never democracy when it doesn't go your way. That's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, that is kind of consistent with people, huh?
Yeah.
I don't get that.
When it doesn't go your way, it's not democracy.
Also, if you don't like it so much, I mean, listen, Hungary's part of the EU. It's the Schengen zone. You don't have you don't even need to show your border when you move to another country.
Yep.
You just gotta buy the house you want to live in and just pay the taxes of that country. You have such a problem with Hungary. Literally, you are in a blessed position to move. It's very easy in Europe. Very easy. I would know. I lived there.
Yeah, just get out.
Yeah, you see, it's easier for you to get out. Like I have less sympathy for you than I do about, for other people like on the border.
Zero. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
like you're already spoiled. Stop being pampered.
Like this.
Yeah, go be an adult.
Let's see, hold on. Protests in Hungary today. Let's see if there's a protest today.
Probably something about Ukraine, no?
Demands ending of state media. Okay. So they got a protest ending state media. Okay. We have state media here. It's called CBS.
Yeah,
NBC.
but there it has some different powers.
Well, Democratic state.
There's a little different. Their state media in Europe is a little different. I'll tell you that. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. I mean, there's like in Italy they got like Rai Play, which is good. Actually, I enjoy it. They put some interesting stuff on there, and you get all the football games that are really good in the Champions League games. But outside of that,
I like how they have all the low camera angles here on these pictures to make it look like more people than there really are.
No, it's very small. It's probably just parts of Budapest. And that's it. Yeah, it says Hungary. I would know. Those people are pretty conservative.
Yeah, the camera angles are made to look like this. Like thousands of people. Really, it's probably like a couple dozen.
It's not a couple dozen. It's probably
couple
close,
hundred.
It's probably close to 1,000, but nothing more than that. I don't think.
It is what it is.
All right. Well, beyond that, you got anything else to add to that? I don't.
Nah, I had some box office stuff, but I'll save that for a later date. We have to watch this stupid movie on Amazon Prime to review it.
What movie?
It's called G20, where Viola Davis, a 60-year-old black woman who's also president of the United States, is at the G20, and terrorists take over, and it's up to her to grab a machine gun and take them all out.
I'm sorry, the fuck did you just say?
You heard me right, folks.
Is that what we're looking for in movies now? Who asked for this?
Amazon Prime.
Did you ask for this?
I did not ask for
this. I blame you if you asked for this.
I asked for nothing.
I demand nothing. You speak.
All right, well, that's all I got. What do you got? You got nothing? You good? You wrapped up?
I got nothing.
All right. Well, here I am back again. I got my mask back. Woo! From south of the border, I'm still your reluctant gringo. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. We'll see you again Tomorrow, because it's Tuesday.
Is it tomorrow? No, I might not be here for tomorrow.
You just might be solo gringo.
Might just be solo you.
Solo gringo.
Depending on the time you do it. But
That's
anyways,
okay.
with that, salud.
A huevo.
Adios.
Adios, we out here.
You a racist? Do you hate Mexicans?
So long, gay boys!